Aditya, who is the drummer for a band called Kinaara. He also moonlights as my brother. So we're gonna pick his brain about his understanding of music.
Sure.
I'll start very easy. What is your favorite band?
The Beatles.
Oh, I thought it would be Radiohead.
No, it's the Beatles.
Is Radiohead a close second?
It's second, not that close.
Interesting. What does someone's taste in music say about their cognition? If it does.
Absolutely nothing.
Also, you don't think people's music taste is good or bad?
Oh no, not at all.
So we are not the music we listen to.
No, not at all. No, we are. But it's more about how you were brought up and basically what you listen to growing up, that is your music taste. You cannot really impact it.
And what about understanding? So do you think it's different for people with different levels of understanding?
Yes, but that's the same with every other thing in the world. The more time you spend with something, the more you get to understand it. It's the same with music. It's just about the arts.
Okay. We'll go a little theoretical.
Okay.
Is music a science or an art?
I think the science of making music aids the art of making music, if that makes sense. So the science, all the technology, all of the theory, those are all tools that helps us in expressing ourselves, and it's the same for other art forms as well. Like a better brush for painting, a better instrument, inventing a better instrument for the kind of music that you want to play. All of those are tools, and they're obviously science and engineering, but all they do is aid us in making our art better and more efficiently and quicker.
Okay. So that's why you can experiment.
Exactly.
The experimentation is scientific.
The experimentation is also creative. You just need to be able to use all of the tools at your disposal. The team that made Lord of the Rings had to invent a complete software to be able to put the best war screen ever put on film, right? That technology did not exist, but it was in their brain. So to let it out, you have to experiment with tools and technology and science. But at the end of the day, it is about the creativity that you want to express.
Then I am satisfied.
Thank you.
How do you think the greatest artists get inspired?
By listening to the greatest artists that came before them. And sometimes after, maybe.
Inspiration is not innate, it doesn't come from within at all.
No. You get inspired by the world around you and the people around you and the artists that you listen to. I don't think it's innate or comes from inside. It's not like a supernatural thing. It's how you react with the world.
So hold up. Does creativity exist?
Yes, it exists, but it's not an innate quality. It's you build it from your surroundings and your experiences.
Natural born talent exists. Does exist.
So would you say that a person who is tall is innately talented to play basketball?
No.
Just like that, maybe there are people who are innately more susceptible to understanding pitches and tones and rhythm. If you do not call being tall innately talented, then I don't think the other things count as well.
So the children of great artists who also end up becoming great artists have more similar in their understanding of the world than their talent.
Yes, and they're surrounded by the right people.
So we've all heard about the tortured artist narrative. Rockstar
Sure.
maybe whiplash. Are you an advocate of that?
So if by the tortured artist narrative you mean that you have to be tortured to make great art, is that it?
No.
Okay.
Someone going through some form of pain might end up creating better art.
Than if they weren't going through that pain?
Yes, with the same set of tools.
I think that being sad, let's call it that, being sad results in art that is that comes from maybe a bit deeper of places. But I do not believe that you have to be sad to make great art. There have been great artists who make great art who were not sad, who were not tortured, who did not have a bad life. I also think we kind of romanticize this notion of a tortured artist making great music because a lot of people want their sadness to mean something more than just being sad. And if they look at someone who was sad and then they think if they use that sadness to create great art, they think that is what they can do as well. In reality, all they needed was help, and all of the other people who romanticize also probably just needs help.
I mean, this is a personal opinion. Music coming from sadness just seems better to me. And there are a few people who also think this way. Do you think this is just opinion, or do you think it has to do something with anything?
So I believe that a piece of music or a piece of art that resonates with a person, if a person can find relatability in a piece of art, they really like it. No, I'll get to the main point. I'll get somewhere with this. And I feel like people need relatability a lot more when they're sad than when they're happy. People also feel relatable to happiness, but they don't really need it as much as they need it when they're sad. And so the music that comes from sadness or the music that you relate to when you're sad just sticks around longer because you needed it more.
So what we listen to, do you think reflects what we are feeling?
Yes.
And is it the other way around? If I listen to something, will I start feeling it?
So there have been a lot of studies about listening to happy music and feeling happy. So there's this very particular study about when you listen to music with a like a very fast beat and a very fast rhythm, the neurons that are firing in your brain follows the same rhythm, like they fire in rhythm and in the same tempo. And so you've probably done it, I've probably done it. A lot of Olympic level athletes do it. They listen to music when they're playing a sport because it gets them in the groove and it gets them in a loop of rhythmic tempo and pitches, and because that is how your neurons fire when you're listening to music. So it obviously affects your brain.
Okay. What is the difference between sound and music?
So I thought about it a lot, and what the conclusion I came to was I am not qualified enough to answer it, but I have three ways that I think you can approach the question for yourself. The first is the scientific definition of what music is and what it does to your brain. What is rhythm, what is pitch, what is a key, a note, timbre, whatever. And I don't think I can answer that. I can just tell you to go read a book. It's called Your Brain on Music by Daniel Levitin. It's a very interesting read. Read that, you will get the scientific answer out of it. The other way to look at it is the personal approach, like what you think is music, like the phrase.
It's like music to my ears.
Exactly, like the sound of rain falling is like music to my ears, or a mother's lullaby is like music to my ears. That is literally music, but like whatever. So
Subjective.
it is very subjective and something. So the personal answer would be anything that sounds pleasant is music for you. And the third and the most interesting, I think, is the cultural way to look at it. Like a lot of what we consider music and good music comes from what we have been listening to as a society and as people growing up and around everywhere around us. So, for example, a really heavy metal, death metal song that I would head bang to late at night in my room, Papa would say is not music at all. He'd call it noise, right? So, because he hasn't grown up with it, he does not really understand it. So it's almost like a language. If you know a language, it's words for you, and if you don't, it's gibberish. So that is also how that is what music theories also like. Every different genre and every different practice of music has theory, which is the rules that you have to follow to create good music, and the rules that a genre follows might be the exactly opposite to rules that another genre follows. And so a person who specialized in, let's say, Western classical music probably would not be able to understand a genre that breaks all of those rules. And so that is a big part of how people listen to and understand and really are able to enjoy music as well. Yeah, that is it.
So there is noise, sound, and music.
I think there's sound and music both can either be noise or not.
How does music contribute to the greater good? Does it?
So this is one of those questions that I thought really hard about, and my answer is it probably really doesn't. The only examples I could think of where it makes a social impact is like protest songs and youth rebellion and things like that. But even there, I think it is the art is reflecting society. Like art is reflecting the discontent of people and the problems that people are having rather than the other way around. If I have to give you an example, so they called Dylan to be having the voice of the people. Like they said Dylan has the voice of the people, but it was still the voice of the people, right? He was just really good at giving words to the problems or the thoughts that people had at the time. And he probably helped some people talk about it or gave them the vocabulary for it, but it was mostly still just a reflection of what was already going on in the society rather than him really influencing it. For the most part, he didn't. So I think music is a great mirror of what is happening in the society, good or bad. I don't think it really does anything for the greater good, except for maybe giving a few people voices, and community is a big thing. Like it helps people form communities, meet similar people. You go to a concert and you have this collective beautiful experience. But if you call that doing something for the greater good, sure, but I don't think it does really anything more than that.
So, would you say the same about movies?
I will not. I believe movies have been, I don't think they are anymore. They have been a lot more vocal about issues and problems and the hardships that people feel. And more than that, I think music has done that as well. More than that, I think movies used to be a really collective experience that people used to experience together as a whole. Live music was a thing, but definitely not as big as movie theaters or even sitting with your family in front of a TV on a Saturday night and watching a movie and then talking about it. So that really helps. And the other thing is probably that it's a visual medium, so it's easier to understand what is going on than understanding a poetic lyric about suffering somewhere versus seeing it firsthand. So I think movies play a much bigger role in shaping societal norms and the way that society works and thinks about things. As music does that as well, but I don't think in as big a way as movies.
Some questions about creating music. When you're in the process of creating something, how and when do you know you're done with it? Because it can't be that, oh, this is perfect now.
I don't think you're ever done with the song. You just have to let it go when you're ready for people to listen to it, or if you want to start working on something else. That's it.
So it's more logistical. Can't be spending more time on this. Or I need some perspective, some outside perspective.
No, it's much simpler than that. I think when people create music or create art, they want to show it to the world, and there comes a point when you feel like this is ready to show to the world, and then you show it to the world. That's it.
Is discipline as important with music as emotions are, or is one more important than the other? So if I'm not feeling like creating today, but I have to, and will that yield the same result?
I think everybody has a lot of emotions. Discipline is what turns that emotion into whatever you want to turn it into. So I believe it's 90% discipline and 10% whatever you're feeling, because that is what will separate you from everything and everybody else.
के लिए emotions ज़्यादा ज़रूरी है या discipline ज़्यादा ज़रूरी है? Emotions. क्यों?
Music is all about emotion. Emotion ही नहीं है तो मुझे तो लगता नहीं वो म्यूजिक कंपोज कर पाएगा.
Final question. If you could hear one song for the first time again, which would it be?
So this is the question that I've been thinking about for 3 days. This is the question I've spent most time on. I've changed my answer a dozen times at least, probably more. And I think my answer is Going to California by Led Zeppelin, the 1975 live version from All's Great Hotel. Listen to it.
Do you want to ask me? Same question.
Sure. What is the one song that you would like to listen to again for the first time ever?
Something in the way.
Okay. Good answer.
I know. ऐसा कोई गाना जो आप फिर से पहली बार सुनते
Any लता मंगेशकर song, particularly शायद यही तो प्यार है.
अदनान सा.
नाम सा नहीं.
मैं हर टाइम प्रेफर करूंगी लग जा गले.
लग जा गले. मम्मी लग जा गले पहली बार तो आप सुन. पापा ने गेस करो बात.
आई थिंक मोबाइल.
Not even close.
It was very temporary song.
Temporary तो नहीं था.
Temporary song था.
आई थिंक आंधी के सॉन्ग, फिल्म आंधी के सॉन्ग्स.
That maybe.
कौन सा?
कहाँ से चले
कहाँ के लिए
ये खबर नहीं थी मगर कोई भी सिरा जाने का.
तो बीच में इतनी फालतू की बातें भी थी वो करोगे एडिट.
काट दो.
तुमने हर क्यों बोला?